And we've chronicled Markelle Fultz pretty much ever since he came in the league, and he's becoming a very sympathetic figure. I mean, there's obviously he's dealing with this current injury, no matter how real that is, or how physical and how mental that is. He's dealing with it, and he's rehabbing it right now, trying to get back on the court. But the Washington Post did a very deep dive into the people around him, into his life, and exactly what that's like. And I'm going to say this on wax, as a parent, and Jalen, I know you're a parent, I do not criticize how other people parent their children. Whatever happens in your own home, however you decide to deal with your children, as long as you're not causing them serious physical or emotional harm, do your own thing. Whatever works for you, I get it. But this is an interesting nugget that was reported by the Washington Post. The Washington Post wrote in this column, quote, during Fultz's first season in Philadelphia, Ebony, Fultz's mother, had cameras installed inside his New Jersey home, according to several people familiar with the setup, who described the indoor surveillance as unusual. The cameras have since been removed. Multiple people said Ebony had asked some who had dealt with Fultz to sign non-disclosure agreements for reasons that are unclear to them. That was written by Candace Buckner of the Washington Post. Jalen Rose, this is a little peculiar, isn't it? Surveillance cameras inside the home?
Well, it's clear why somebody wants you to sign a non-disclosure agreement, so that whatever you see here, you don't get a chance to discuss. So that part, for me, it's pretty cut and dry. The installing of the cameras for indoor vision, for indoor surveillance, it does seem a little bit unusual, but at the same time, people do have cameras in their homes, outside of their homes, in their vehicles. You jump in and out of Uber cars. Some of them have cameras inside the car for their own protection, for their own safety. But again, it's hard for me to truly comment on why she did that, because we don't know what was taking place in the house that made her feel like she needed to do that.
We had a nanny cam in the twins' room for a while to see what they're doing while they're sleeping, whether they're up or not, if they're jumping out the crib or whatever. And sometimes you would get these notifications on your phone and you would look at it, and there's a creepy feeling about it. Like there's something that just doesn't, you know when something feels right in your stomach. When I was watching other people in my house interact and I was listening to them, it made me feel a little uncomfortable. And I just can't imagine why someone would have that level of surveillance inside their own child's home. But as you mentioned, who knows why? We don't have all the details, but I know I'm not criticizing her parenting. I'm just saying it seems a little peculiar. I know that when you came out of the league and you had that home in Denver, there were no security cameras in there because Lord knows what they would have found if there was. Moving on, Jalen Rose.
Absolutely. And while I was in Denver, I probably would have benefited if my mother did put some indoor cameras in the crib.
Shout out to Jeannie Rose.